Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and a very good day to all dear students. In this video, we're going to explore and learn about chapter 2 of strategic marketing for hospitality and tourism. Okay, so let's start the discussions. Chapter 2 is about markets and competitive space. Okay, why do we have to study markets and competitive space? Yeah, because firstly, the challenges that firms and competitors have to face today. Because markets are increasingly complex, turbulent, and interrelated. Therefore, it is important to have a broad view of the market. Essential also for the firm to develop a vision about how the market is likely to change in the future. A very good recent example about the turbulence and complex of the marketing nowadays is the pandemic of COVID-19. Okay, tourism is currently one of the most affected sectors in many countries. Yeah, so many countries have revised its tourism forecast for international arrivals and receipts, and also have to emphasize that any predictions are likely to be further revised. Okay, countries also or tourism department also take into account the unparalleled introduction of restrictions across the world nowadays. Yeah, many countries have to be prepared for tourism aspects, such as international tourist arrivals will be down by maybe more than 70% in 2020 this year when compared with the figures of 2019. Yeah, all right. Therefore, continuous monitoring is necessary to combat or to face with this kind of situation, such as find promising opportunities in uh, marketing and business plan. Yeah, another continuous monitoring that the firms can also uh, take into action is identify shift in value requirements. Yeah, value, what kind of value that can they provide in terms of during uh, this kind of situations. Yeah, and also understand the competitors positioning. They also have to understand the competitors, and as well as guide targeting and positioning decisions to be made. Yeah. Okay. Therefore, let's look at another slides. Yeah, which is the learning objective of this chapter. Okay, learning objective of this chapter, as you can see, the first one looking into markets and strategies. Next, matching needs with product benefits. Uh, Next, we are going to define and analyzing product markets, describing and analyzing end users, analyzing competition, market size estimation. We're going to estimate market size, yeah? And also, last but not least, in this chapter, we are going to develop a strategic vision about the future. Okay, so moving on, let's look at next slide, slide number 3. Okay, here there are many reasons for a constant need for change in marketing. Yeah, market always changes, which require altering business and marketing strategies takes in place. Yeah, some of the changes are implemented as a result of, forces that also contribute to changes. Things like ineffective strategies. Okay, ineffective strategies could be examples such as an advertisement that doesn't put well as expected. So other changes may be as a result of improperly identifying a target audience, which is the group of people who are becoming the target audience of the firm, yeah, are most likely to use the product. So outside forces may also prompt the need for change in marketing strategies. There are several other reasons small companies must constantly change their marketing strategies, such as changing consumer taste. Yeah. Okay. Um, Next is uh, the other reasons, or the other forces is countering competitive strategies. Yeah. It is nearly impossible for small companies to stay complacent with their marketing and advertising. A major reason is that a competitor may initiate a marketing strategy that challenges a small company position in the marketplace. All right, so countering competitive strategies is important here. And also, in altering business, we are going to look into the product life cycle of a company also. Yeah, small companies are, small companies or any companies must change their marketing strategies during different stages of the product life cycle. Uh, there are four product life cycle stages, as we all know. Once the product hits the market, yeah, okay. Once the product hits the market, the first cycle is introduction, second is growth, third is maturity, and fourth is decline. Yeah? Sales are often strong during the introduction and growth stages. However, sales for many companies in the industry eventually will be slow when their product hit the maturity state. And furthermore, it becomes more difficult to maintain sales growth. A small company may be forced to lower price in this kind of stage, which is maturity stage, as consumers may become more price sensitive during this time. All right. So a company may also need to differentiate itself better from competitors to create its own niche. Okay. And next factor is consideration. Outside factors may also force small business to change marketing strategies. These extra variables may include the government, new laws, limited natural resources, and also changing of technologies. For example, a new packaging, yeah, law for manufacturing of, for example, frozen dinners or frozen foods needs to change its packaging. So the company may need to start including mm, some kind of maybe more nutritional details of for the packaging, all right, and so on and so forth. So a lack of natural resources may force company to find substitutes for manufacturing products in these situations. Okay, so therefore, these influences create market opportunities and threats by altering nature and scope of products, markets, and competitive space. All right, let's move to uh, next slide. Yeah. Okay, this slide is about opportunities outside of the competitive box. Okay. Uh, so in other words, the firm must think outside of the box. Okay, thinking outside of the box means that you are willing to consider different solutions and method for reaching your desired outcomes. Again, a very good example is during pandemic COVID-19 now. Yeah, businesses must think outside the box to stay afloat during COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so the current crisis caused by the outbreak of COVID-19 has forced many businesses to think outside the box and come up with new ways to secure their survival during this time. For example, grocery store is now offering to deliver people's groceries directly to their doorstep because uh, the uh, the customers can't go hard for the customers to go out and during MCO or movement control order, people are are not encouraged to go outside. Okay. Another example also, there are hotels that has adapt to this current crisis, which has been particularly hard on the tourism industry. Yeah, so they are now some hotels are now offering people to book a room during the day. Why? How to? It is not because of booking a room for travel, but they are offering to book a room during the day to use as their home office. Okay, so they are doing um, business to that extent. Okay, so thinking outside of the box also meaning in depth, uh, also meaning an in-depth understanding of your competitors. Okay, so we are going to study our competitors, their strategies, behavior, intent, how they make their money, how they view our company. Okay, all of this factor is a competitive advantage that can help uh, a firm increase market share and also profit. Okay, so what do we know about our competitors? How do they compete? What is our competitive advantage? Yeah, looking into competitors. Yeah. Okay. How do our customers buy, for example, looking into our customers? Yeah. How would they view two alternatives, for example, if we have product A and product B are presented side by side in one of the ad campaigns in internet, for example. Okay, so all of these things matters very much for a business. Yeah. Okay, so let's move to next slides. Yeah. An area of challenges. Okay, changes in markets are drastic. Okay, very fast. Yeah? Therefore, it is crucial to alter opportunities and competitive space, as well as increase the importance of strategic thinking. All right. So, some of the challenges such as disruptive innovation, commercialization of product designs, creation of new market space, and fast-changing markets needs to be handled well so that it helps businesses underline the need to identify changes in markets and diagnose the strategy implication to the changes. All right, so let's look at one by one. Disruptive innovation. Okay, it is undoubtedly resulted in uh, change challenges, yeah, for the hospitality industry. It is a challenges. Yeah? Okay, so the hospitality industry has seen rapid change over the past decade with many challenges. Yeah, SARS, COVID-19, yeah, uh, uh, and many more. So with new technologies, for example, okay, because we are going to look into innovation, usually innovation takes place with technologies. Yeah, so online platforms, websites, internets, and market ushering in new initiative, all sort of the sector, ranging from mobile check-in, yeah, robots providing room service to self-ordering restaurant menus are all those disruptive innovations that taking place in the industry. So these initiatives are all starting to have an impact on the customers experience. So new business models such as alternative accommodation, for example, if you look at Airbnb, for example, okay, are also changing the public perceptions to traditional hospitality business. So, how should hoteliers or how should the people in this industry approach such as activities and the potential disruption. Okay, so disruptions bring with it uncertainty, usually, yeah, through unexpected consequences. Okay, you can firm can uh, introduce anything, yeah, any innovation. So in hospitality, people's expectations are also changing. Yeah, for example, if you look at long queues to check in, for example, at the hotels, so now it is become unacceptable. Yeah, unresponsive or slow room service lead to negative hotel comments on many other platform. Yeah, be it TripAdvisor or face to face. Yeah? And some expect 24 hours housekeeping even in budget hotel. So it is unexpected. Yeah. So these are the things that hospitality industry should think of to match the customers' needs and wants. Yeah. Okay. So next is about commoditization threats. Yeah. So what is commoditization? It is the process by which goods that have economic value uh, are distinguished or unique, have some uniqueness to it. Yeah, and it end up becoming or being simple commodities in the eyes of the market or consumers. So in the first place, it has economic value, very unique, but in the end, at one certain level, it is becoming simple commodities. This is what we call as commoditization, yeah, in the eyes of the market or consumers. So as this hospitality industry continues to mature, yeah, that means is that particular value or uniqueness has matured already. So one of the significant internal threats includes the homogenization of the core products and services offered by firms. So this phenomenon is known as commoditization, and it significantly impacts the industry in many ways. So this commoditization instigate usually price wars. Yeah? The wars, there are price wars between firms and increases the competitive nature of the market environment. So it is somehow not good. Yeah? So what usually do the firms do? Firms have to evaluate and improve marketing strategy. It is a practice that firms utilize to combat this effect of the phenomena. So, operational managers who obtain the direct knowledge about the daily business procedures and whatnot will have the benefits to influence the selected strategy combination based on their perceptions of the functioning firms. Right? Okay. Another one is creating new market space. How to create new market space? Uh, we have to compete head to head. Yeah, when we compete head to head, it can be cutthroat, especially when markets are flat or growing slowly. So managers caught in this kind of competition almost say they dislike it and wish they could find a better alternative. So creating new market space somehow requires a different pattern of strategic thinking. Instead of looking within the accepted boundaries that define how we compete, managers can look systematically across them. So by doing that, they can find unoccupied territory. So the keyword is finding unoccupied territory that represents a real breakthrough in value. So many of the well-known success stories of the past decade have looked across substitutes to create new markets. Right. So some companies also in the industry often create new markets by targeting different kind of customer segments. That can be also creating new market space. For example, large you are targeting previously yeah, currently you are targeting large segments. Now you are targeting small segments, for example. So or simply by looking across buyers group. Okay, therefore, companies can gain new insights on how redesign your value curves to focus on previously overlooked set of customers or set of segments. Okay, next, what is fast changing markets? Yeah, what exactly it is? All industries are constantly changing and developing, but it seems that in the hospitality industry, it is largely driven by technology and advancement. So, inspiring ahead in digital technology, it's meant to make things easier for people to work in the industry, but sometimes these changes can seem more complicated and require more resources. So, with um, new technology, more resources could be for maybe extra staff or extra finance, and uh, that usually finance mostly goes towards new technologies. Or it can be also staff training to be able to for the staff to use the technology, right? So consumers' tastes and desires for hotel and travel industry are constantly changing. Okay, so these are the challenges, and customer satisfaction is always evolve. So it is the consumer needs that necessitate new and innovative method of technology. So as customers' interests and needs in hotels evolve or changing, so too the hospitality players must also find and adapt ways on how to sustain. All right, let's move to next slide. Okay, here what we have about matching needs with product benefits. Yeah. All right, so the term product market recognizes that markets exist only when there are buyers who have the ability to purchase the products. Okay, the that particular buyers must purchase the product. So to be effective in marketing, all staff need to be knowledgeable about everything available in their facility, or knowledgeable about what they are selling. Yeah. So this means knowledgeable about not only the physical property but also services available. So sales staff need a properly fact sheet. Each member of the staff should refine their fact sheet by conducting a physical inspection of the firm of or the facility, and asking questions such as um, to know the informations regarding general description, for example, such as location of your firm, location of your hotel, location of your hospitality firm. Yeah, what are unique features about your hotel, for example? What are unique features about your restaurants, for example? All right, so this could match better with the needs and wants of the customers. Yeah. All right. So another pertinent information also that you must or the staff or the firm must know at their fingertips, such as, for example, if it is guest room, number of guest room that you have, type of guest room, size, the rates, taxes, what are the room amenities, security, accommodations, parking available, number of connecting rooms that you have, for example. Okay, and if it is a restaurant and lounge, number of restaurants and lounges that you have, sizes, the capacities, the hours, menu types, sample prices, any tax for the to the guests, room service availability, and so on and so forth. When it is meeting or banquet facilities, number of the facilities that you have, sizes, banquet menu, audiovisual services, yeah, and so on and so forth. So um, um, this information will actually help the business in matching needs with product benefits. So uh, this information should be at your fingertips, just like I've mentioned earlier. Yeah? Okay, let's move to next slide. Yeah. Okay, this slide shows about determining the composition of product market. So there are three steps involved. First, we start with the generic need generic need in satisfying the product category of interest to the management. And these steps will actually leads to identifying the product categories types that can satisfy the generic needs. Yeah. And also next step is identify the specific product markets within the generic product markets. So in short, we are determining the market or the target market that we are going to explore, whether it is segment A, segment B, segment C, or segment D, or it can be more or it can be less also. Okay, so next slides is about forming product markets. Okay, so the factors that influence how product market boundaries should be determined include the purpose of analyzing the product markets. So in doing so, companies have to rate changes in market composition and look at the extent of market complexity. All right. So first, in forming product markets, it includes factors like purpose of analysis. Okay, the purpose of analysis also need to be monitored. If management is deciding whether or not to exit from the business or to enter the business, for example, primary emphasis must be on the financial performance and competitive position. So in contrast, if the objective is finding one or more attractive market segments to target in the product market, like we have mentioned earlier, so a much more in-depth analysis is necessary. All right. So we have to look into what is the purpose of analysis first. Okay. Next is looking into the changing composition of market. So in this concept, product market may change due to factors such as new technologies become available or new competition emerge. So new technologies offer buyers with different ways of to meet their needs and wants. Okay. And next is extent of market complexity. Mm, three characteristics of market complexity may capture a large portion of the variations. First, the functions of the product services needed by the customer. Yeah. Second, the technology used in the product or service to provide the desired function. And third, the different customer segments using the product or service. So all of these factors contribute to the complexity of the product or services. Okay, so let's move to next slide, which is describing and analyzing end users. Okay, after determining product market structure, it is useful to develop profiles of end users buyers for the generic product type and product variant levels. So buyers are identified, described, and then value requirements are indicated for the setting. Okay, first we have to identify and describe buyers. The characteristics such as family size, age, income, geographical location, sex, occupation are often useful in identifying buyers in consumer markets. So illustrative factors such as identify end users in organizational markets will include type of industry, company size, location, and types of product, for example. All right, so many published sources of information are available. Yeah, it can be referred to for use in identifying and describing customers. Okay, next is how buyers make choices. Often, simply describing buyers does not provide enough information to guide market targeting and positioning decisions. So we also have to need to find out why people buy products and specific product brands. So in considering how customers decide what to buy, it is useful to analyze how they move through the sequence of steps leading to a decision to purchase a particular brand. Okay, what makes them buy? Yeah, buyer normally follow a decision process. Yeah, so we have to study on how buyer make choices. And next is environmental influences. The final step in building customer profiles is to identify the external environment factors that influence buyers and thus impact the size and composition of the market over time. So these influences include government action, social change, economic shifts, technology, and other factors that may alter buyers' needs and wants. Typically, these factors are not controlled by the buyers or the firms that the market uh, product markets, and these changes usually influence a major impact on customer purchasing activities. Yeah? Okay, all these environmental influences can give an impact to the customer's decision to purchase. Okay, next is building customer profile. We have to describe customers begin with generic product markets. At this level, customer profiles are likely to describe the size and general composition of the customer base. For example, the commercial air travel customer profile for a specified geographical area would include market size, growth rates, mix of business and pressure, travelers, and other characteristics. Okay, so the profiles of the market need to be identified and built up. Okay, next steps is we have to analyze the competition, right? So um, in analyzing the competition, we must have complete competitor analysis, yeah, in order to consider the companies and brands that compete in the product market of interest. So we have to analyze the competitions following the 5 steps that have been laid out. First, define the competitive arena for the generic, specified, and variant product markets. Second, we have we have to identify key competitors of our product. Third, evaluate key competitors. Number 4, anticipate actions by the competitors. What actions that can be made by them. Yeah? And number 5, identify and evaluate potential competitors to our company. All right. Okay. Next slides. Okay. We're going to look into industry analysis. Okay. In industry analysis, it is uh, um, it is part of good management actually. That is not just for the business planning, but rather for business survival, from the right from the beginning to an end. So most of the people who successfully start their own business have already had relevant business experience before they start. Whether you write it out in a formal business plan or not, yeah, when you're doing your industry analysis, you're looking at the following things. First, industry participants. Second, distribution patterns. Third, competition and buying patterns. Yeah, so everything in your industry and all that happens outside your business will affect your company. The more you know about your industry, the more advantage and protection you will have. Finding an analysis of the industry may be helpful in identifying market segments and key success factors for the industry. So in some cases, the analysis present in an industry profile may be sufficient, but additional information can also often be available by reading newspapers, magazine, or any other publications of the industry. All right, let's move to next slide. Yeah, next slide is about competitive forces. Okay, so competitive forces, I will relate to uh, one of the mm, hospitality sector, which is restaurant industry. All right, so the restaurant industry remains competitive because of some firms take modernization into account. Okay, for example, high-speed internet and other supplies that are likely to attract customers. Thus, it remains difficult for restaurants to sustain their. It remains difficult for restaurants who are not competitive enough to sustain their competitive advantage. So this implies that restaurants which have remained successful over the decades know their abilities and brand identity. So such restaurants also understand activities of their competitors and what differentiate them from the rest. In addition, they also understand what factors drive their success. Yeah? Okay, therefore, it is necessary for the restaurant industry to understand applications of Porter's five forces in their business. This must also consider the interconnection among services in the hospitality industry. Competition usually creates differences in returns among firms in the same industry. So in addition, market conditions can also influence profitability of firms. According to Michael Porter's, yeah, there are five forces which affect performance of the company. So restaurants can use various resources to create competitive advantage, such as um, okay, such as competitive strategies which can enhance profitability and competition if it is sustained over time. Okay, like Porters have identified five forces. For example, um, first, barriers to entry, yeah, threats of substitutes, bargaining power of buyers, power of suppliers, and rivalry among existing competitors. Okay, so threat of substitute goods, yeah, for example, um, the restaurant industry remains competitive due to their close location to one another. Okay. In addition, their prices vary in the range with different levels of services and facilities. So as a result, customers have considerable challenges when making decisions regarding a specific restaurant. So in this sense, customers can look at additional facilities in restaurants that can fit their taste. For instance, restaurants may differentiate themselves with the high-speed internet, for example. Okay, some provide pools, some provide self-service, delivery service, for example, and other services. So which customer may find convenient. Yeah, all right. Restaurants can also introduce new services or marketing campaigns that can create stiff competition in the industry. So as a result, number of restaurants have gone out of business or joined change of franchise. So the industry face stiff competition from other products from convenience store nowadays. Convenience store, grocery stores, delis, club, and so on and so forth. So again, still, home cooking also remains a serious challenge to the industry. Okay, when we talk about bargaining power of buyers, customers in the hospitality industry are demanding and hard to please. Very hard to please. So this is because they want value for their spending. Therefore, additional services in restaurant may provide such customers value-added services. Yeah, customers may make their purchases online. Yeah, buyers or customers can make purchases online, and restaurants and expect the restaurant to deliver their orders for less cost, for example. So this kind of service have enhanced bargaining power of customers in the restaurant industry. This implies that creating loyalty in the restaurant industry requires excellent service and require excellent services. Thus, restaurants must find ways of how to impress customers, and at the same time protect their profit margin. Okay, and another competitive forces or challenges also comes from rivalry among existing competitors. Okay, this factor increase as a result of changing customer behavior. Yeah, behavior of consumers are changing, their change their mm, uh, how they view the product, how they increase the number of, it also will leads to increased number of competitors, rising prices of commodities, rising costs, increasing costs, risk management to the industry, and so on and so forth. So some instance, restaurants that have various level of menu options, for example, with qualities of foods, yeah, services, cleanliness standards, uh, a very good record with health department, all right, and everything that the customers needs will overall have a good experience, or will have a good image in the in the mind of the customers. Okay, all right. Despite of the rivalry that I've mentioned, the restaurant industry also has to manage to stay competitive and provide value to customers in a way how they achieve economies of scale. Okay, so the restaurant industry will or must implement management system which create differentiation. Okay, so they must be different from their rivalry, yeah, and take a different turn with the social media, for example, yeah, have uh, a very good network with their customers, yeah. So most restaurants will have to go online to reach many customers. Restaurants which have an online presence will have considerably reduced their marketing costs. That's the advantage to it. Yeah? So this strategy has given such restaurants a competitive advantage over their competitors. Therefore, restaurants can reduce their prices to attract many customers. All right. So this is a good initiative. All right. So we have to look into all these uh, Potter's five forces to stay competitive. Okay, next slides we have, what do we have here? Is describing and evaluating key competitors. Okay, so in describing and evaluating key competitors, yeah, the industry have to conduct an analysis in monitoring competitors' activities. The analysis, again, by looking at business scope and objective, management experience, capabilities, and weaknesses of the competitors. These are among key factors to evaluate. And market position and trends, market targets, customer base, positioning strategy for each target, distinctive capability, and as well as financial performance, current and also historical. Okay, so these are among uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 key uh, on how to evaluate competitors. Okay, next we move to next slide. Yeah. Okay, anticipating customer action. So the analysis is which we have earlier discussed. Yeah, provide the informations, all the informations needed in helping or in estimating future trends of a firm or of a business. So although, however, possible strategy shift by competitors may occur along way, so new competitors may come from four major sources, which are, yeah, these four major sources are companies competing in a related product market, another sources companies with related technology, yeah. Third, companies already targeting similar customer group with other products, and number four, companies competing in other geographical region with similar products. Okay, all right, so let's look at next slide. Yeah, this slide discuss about market size estimation. Right? So to become successful, we have to estimate the market size. So how do we do that? Yeah. First is looking into market potential. It is regarding the maximum amount of product sales that can be obtained from a defined product market during a specified time period. Okay, that is market potential. Next, how to estimate your market is looking into sales forecast. Okay, in this factor, we will indicate the expected sales for a defined product market during a specific time period. Okay, we do the market forecast. And third is looking into market share. So market share of a firm. So it will be determined by the company sales divided by the total sales of all firms for a specified product market. So this is essential in preparing forecast to specify what is being forecast. Yeah, what are you now forecasting? The time period involved, yeah, from when to when, and the geographical area of your competitors, yeah. Sorry, the geographical area of your market. So that will help you in estimate your market size. And number four or last factors is evaluating market opportunity. Okay, this is can be done by projection of your key competitors, and it is useful though, yeah, in evaluating market opportunities. All right, we shall go to next slide. Yeah, developing a strategic vision about the future. Okay, there are two phases in how we are looking into all the factors that we have discussed earlier. So somehow we can imagine, and also the firm can have a proper and strategized vision about the future. First, we are going to look into phases of competition. We have analyzed our competitors just now, yeah. So in these phases of competition, it is useful to distinguish between different phases happened earlier in the development of competition. So different phases will show different firms offerings from other competitors. Okay, so we have to look back lah, all those Michael Porter's kind of arrangements, idea, and so on and so forth that we have looked just now. Yeah, will be also considered. Okay, next one or second one is anticipating the future. All right, so in anticipating the future, organizations that choose to invest substantial time and effort in anticipating the future usually will create an opportunity for competitive advantage. Okay, so you are already in the industry, you are in the business. Okay, definitely this will help the business to sustain longer when you do all those necessary analyzing, you study of your competitors and so on. You also study about yourself, or about your firm, your own firm. So this will definitely match, yeah, the needs and wants of your own target segments or target market. Okay, all right. So this is about chapter 2. All right. So this is the end of chapter 2 as the conclusions. Yeah, analyzing markets and competition is essential to make sound business and marketing decisions. Yeah. So analyzing the forces of change also will help the industry, the firm, yeah, and it will provide the basis for anticipating how product markets will change in the future. All right. So happy studying. Yeah. Stay at home and stay safe, everyone. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a good day.